The following is a presentation of iRacing on PTR TV. We'd like to thank all of our channel partners for their support. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and we hope you enjoy today's broadcast.
Whatever you drive, however you drive. AMSOIL specially engineers lubricants to maximize power, performance, and protection in your vehicles, so you can work hard and play hard with confidence.
It's been a long season here that's been both long and short in many different ways. But when it's all said and done, the season has to come to an end. We're not in Homestead, Miami. We're not in Phoenix, Arizona. We're not anywhere random, but we're at a track that is very deserving of the season finale of Triple Bypass. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in here on PTR TV for this run here in Triple Bypass. This is Darlington Raceway. It's the Harmon Racing 140 here. 140 laps of great action getting ready to come at you here from Darlington, South Carolina. It's going to be myself, Brad Dalton in the booth, running the truck here. Corey Silva decided he wanted a week off, and I think he picked the worst week possible to be away, but it is going to be myself here running everything behind the screens. And, well, last time Howie was here at Triple Bypass on PTR TV, Howie ran things behind the screens, but Howie decided just to commentate tonight. So, Howie, good evening. How are you, my friend?
Welcome to Darlington. Now, you guys are just going to have to believe at home my credentials when I say this, because I'm British, and so it might sound like I've never done a circle track in my life. But I love my ovals, and I still absolutely have never actually finished a lap of Darlington in my entire life. And it put a season finale in a playoff there. Crazy. Very, very close at the top. I think this is going to get really, really physical and testing of these drivers. We are just sitting here in the truck watching it, thankfully, because they're going to have a big one out of the track today.
Oh, that they are. And I can't wait to see how it goes, but I'm sure it's going to be fine, right? We always say it's going to be fine, but, well, I guess we have one way to find out. We'll find out here shortly as gridding is underway as we go. And let's go ahead and get this starting lineup underway as my things like to cooperate, which is sometimes easier said than done. But let's go through and get your PTR TV starting lineup as we grid. And how it's going to go here, well, it's going to be up front. Keaton Crothers in that 809 going through with the Corgi. Ryan Hyatt there on his outside. From there, we're going to go Ty Bass and Ben Harcum, third and fourth. Fifth place, Michael Hopkins. Sixth place, Steve McClendon. Sean Bradley in seventh. Dylan Freeman, P8. Al Corey in ninth. Daniel Williams in 10th.
Three playoff drivers couldn't make the top 10. William Emert in 11th, Matt Harmon in 12th, and Elton Wu in 13th. Behind them, Mark Herzog, Mark Jarrell, Jason Benson, Matthew Epting, Derek Catt, Tyler Rellas, and Tex Nichols. I'll leave you with two more on the back.
And the final two here that are going to be on the track, Michael Seymour and Paul Crumry, the 22 drivers to take on this track tonight. Here, race details as it stands, 140 laps. It's going to be a stage at lap 45 here in the Harmon Racing 140. 3 sets of tires with 1 backup car and fixed setups at an 80% fuel load. While we're waiting on things to get going here, I do want to touch on a couple of details here before we go. One of the things I want to look at as they stand is, let's go ahead and pull up the points as they go here. Where did they go? See, in this kid,
there's a picture somewhere. I might have lost it behind the sofa.
See, in this, kids, is why you make sure you have everything set up here. We'll get the points graphic up here in just a second. I know I put it somewhere.
Should I give you a readout?
Put it here. Yeah, go ahead and give us a readout. We'll get a picture up here momentarily.
Steve McLendon in the 51 lead with 91 points over the baseline. Behind him, Sean Bradley -7, Keaton Cruffers at -10, and William Emert another -10. I'd consider these your biggest contenders. Behind him, Elton Wu, Ben Harkin, Brad Kress, Michael Hopkins, Al Corey, and Matthew Harmon. I believe we have 11 contending for the championship today. It's not a one-go win and you're in. It will be on points, but it's pretty close at the top for some crazy results out here.
There it is on your screen. Howie read it off great, and I tell you what, Howie read it off quicker than I could get it on the screen. I have a question for you, Howie. How many cautions are you expecting? What are we looking over under on cautions tonight?
Well, hitting it a fat 7, including stage. Let's go.
Okay, well, there's your answer here. We'll find out if that's true or not. Pace car is going to pull off here. We come through, and it's going to be the green flag out here for the Harmon Racing 140, the season finale here of Triple Bypass in Season 8. And Keaton Cruthers gets away very well. Ty Bass is able to take advantage of that inside early on and go ahead and get around Ryan Hyatt, the Corgi, there into 3rd. Michael Hopkins 4th. Ben Harcum top 5. They'll come off of turn 2 here, looking pretty good down the back stretch they're going to go here. Everybody good into 3 so far. Let's see how they handle it up front. Ty Bass, Keaton Cruthers side by side.
Very, very hard to get around this track properly. You're going to want to run the wall very, very soon, but they call it too hard to tame for a reason, and drivers love to stick it high, but I think Keaton Cruthers wants that first point straight away. I'm probably saying that name wrong all day. Crushers, who knows? Ty Bass still has it better on the high side. That progressive banking here, it's going to give you a lot of momentum, and I'm afraid we have cars around already. I think we stay green. Indeed, that's Ryan Hyatt went backwards right in the back of the pack, turned around, and we stay green. He went below that white line. Who knows where it goes? Still side by side up front.
We'll get a replay here in a moment. I don't want to cut away from this upfront action here because Ty Bass and Keaton Cruthers are racing hard here. And Michael Hopkins and Ben Harcum would love to come in for company if they can. Watch this here as they go down the backstretch. Gap is going to open up a little bit here as we go. Let's hop on board for a moment here with Ben Harcum and ride on board. See how this handles here coming through down the backstretch they go. You get your Whiplash SimCam telemetry there on the bottom right. And just watch this, trying to pick a way through, not able to find a way through at the moment, but certainly giving it a try.
The way that the track banks going into turn 1, it's so old school and it's so weird. You almost can't quite see at the line as it comes around. Lots of playoff drivers up at the top, and Ben Harcum's going to hold the bottom as he runs around. But this top line is very, very dominant if you could hold it. Not quite clear on exit. He might have the pace. I think that 77 of Sean Bradley, though, is going to decide he wants some of that as well. I don't know where that pace has got up there.
Certainly giving it a try here to get through. It's one thing, it's just so challenging at times to really make it work, but doing a great job here. All the drivers trying to hold on for the moment as they continue their way along here, keeping things going, and we are starting to see a little bit of breathing room develop here and there as they go, and that is always nice to see for all of these drivers as they continue along here down the run. And that single file spread out, it's going to be interesting to see how that handles in the long run for them.
Not naming names, but I'm looking up and down the grid in my own way as well. My second screen, I'm seeing plenty. It tapped the wall quite early. These next gens are durable to an extent, but you probably don't want to make that your best friend this early in the race. I say, again, from the privileged chair. Thank you very much. I am the greatest armchair quarterback. We have another wreck on the back straight. Dylan Freeman, that's finish straight even. And Dylan Freeman's around, still below the line. So I think he is going to be able to get that thing pointing forwards. We're still green.
Avril Lavigne making things complicated here on the season finale, but able to get through. So continues along, gets going here. Let's go in and let's go ahead and get this replay early on of what happened to the Corgi. So let's see if we can cue this up. Let's go in for a replay here from Hyatt. What happened to Hyatt early on? Well, there's your slam. That is Hyatt just exiting off the corner of 2, and well, that pink Corgi car is not going to the pink Corgi club, that's for sure. And then what we just saw as well there from Dylan Freeman, Avril Lavigne, little exit there and comes through. I thought had it saved, but wiggled it along and was not able to save it. Stops the car there. As we go back to live pictures, you can see Avril Lavigne running in a league of their own all the way back. Up front, Ty Bass, Keaton Crothers continue along here, Howie.
I'll leave it as a secret between us and the 7, who will probably work out one day why maybe one spin to the back might just be the price to pay. For now, he's got some catching up to do. Yellow will come later in the race, and it's quite a long race here. Very, very early stage for then 100 laps down the line. I hear in terms of race strategy that you're going to get, well, I had it ready and then I was DM'd it and then I lost it completely. So we've all lost things entirely today. Al, you better have sent this to me. I was given the race strategy, and I'll tell you again in a moment. Meanwhile, we're keeping our eyes on the number 2 up front, Ty Bass, making easy work of the track right now. Use those tires well, and you should just be able to stick it in there up front. This is a very, very, very high driver skill track.
That it is, hopping on board with a driver with a lot of skill here. This is the driver that gave you the race strategy, and I know this was the driver that gave the race strategy because I gave you the race strategy from this driver. Steve McClendon was telling me earlier on over the weekend that the fuel run is 59-ish to 60-ish laps. McClendon, was very transparent that fuel is not the deciding factor, tires are. But some guys are going to try to stretch fuel here, so we'll see how that handles along as we go through. Front pack has stretched out here through McClendon. 3.2 seconds back to Matt Harmon, our race sponsor here. Harmon was supposed to sponsor, I believe it was Bristol, and then the Corgi showed up and hijacked it. So Harmon getting to sponsor the season finale here, and I was asked to give a special thank you from Matt Harmon to everyone here at the league. I will pull that up here because Harmon definitely was thankful for everyone. Harmon, of course, his son races in go-karts, and they have had a rough run of a season, had some damage that happened to their cart, but were able to get back racing with the generosity of everyone here.
It's nothing to do with Harmon. That's my special roast button, because I was warned in advance that, people think that we're going to might just go too easy on them, and that usually Corey Silver's a whole lot meaner. And I was like, hey, I don't really have the wit to be necessarily as funny as Corey, but I do have a giant foghorn that I can press when someone wrecks their car. So you've heard it a few times already. Might hear it a few more times here at Darlington. And trust me, there were a couple more cars that went off and we stayed green for. Drivers are struggling here today so far already.
I don't know who that was that went off there that got us that caution. I'm trying to find it there. The 29. There we go. Derek Cat. What happened to the Cat? Well, let's find out really quick here as we go back. And let's see if we can get a quick replay, because that didn't actually give me an alert. So here we go. This is your replay. This is what happened. And Cat went off and somebody went with him there. Wow, that was a weird moment. Let's see there, and then came back on and spun. And let's see, everybody gets going, and no surprise there to see Derek Cat into the pits. Heavy damage to the front end of that car.
Corner exits on this car were brutal before the update. They're brutal now, and you really want to try and get that power down out of exits on this track, and then quickly wonder why your car is heading straight towards the inside wall. It's been a very common theme in a lot of the yellows we've seen across the season. It might be a common theme for the next night ahead of us. Let me tell you that. That's caution number one. I'm keeping count so that I can know if my bet was right. I'm going to win absolutely nothing if that's the case. And that's perfectly fine. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, nobody's going to really win anything. And I do also want to give a big thank you to everyone that is in YouTube chat hanging out. Make sure you like and subscribe if it's your first time here. Don't make it your last time. We're chasing down 1,800 subscribers and would like a little bit of help to get there. Let's see here. As we go through, trying to make sure if I've missed anything. I've got a special announcement that I'm going to save for later on. I'm sure we'll have an excuse to bring it up later on. No reason to say it too early, but yeah, trying to refresh here what Matt Harmon said, because Matt Harmon was very, very appreciative of everyone here at the league. So, yeah, big thank you.
My apologies to Harmon. That was definitely not directed at you. It's just that the wreck foghorn just sort of can't really wait for touching messages when there's a wreck. It just sort of runs itself.
Let's see here. Get this huge shout out. Thank you from me and my son Lucas to the members of the league as a thank you for sponsoring his mini wing race car. Bad accident totaled his flat cart, threw him out of it onto the track, helped us get back on track this season. An awesome group of guys in triple bypass. So yeah, awesome to see everyone help out there and help him get his son back out on track. The foghorn again, not representative of him, but just funny nonetheless here as we get ready to go green.
It's on lock and load. You know, it cost me a lot of money to get that installed, so I hope nothing happens to it today. That's all I can say. Maybe damage from overuse out on the track. Ty Bass has been really, really, really good so far, so there might be more yellows to slow him down and trip him up, but I'm already getting a sense of a driver that might be able to run away without even being a playoff entry.
Listen, sometimes that's just what you want to do. You're not a playoff entry, and you just want to show up and show off, and that is exactly what Ty Bass is doing. We go back green here, and Ty Bass takes off quickly without a care in the world here, getting underway as we go green flag racing around. And let's see here how this handles out. As we see here, the battle for second place is what's starting out between the 809 and the Dave's Hot Chicken car, which I still can't believe Corey has a name.
It was a little bit of a compression up near the front, and then it just sort of evened back out. There's another driver in the wall back down the road, but we will just choose to look past that one. These things are going to happen all over the track, and I can't draw your attention to every single spot known to man. It's pretty much come out single file here already, although among these drivers between 2 and 8, pretty sure it's going to be all on the line for every position, both for the stage and for the finish when it's so close. You're just going to want that very small advantage that might be able to help you over the line in a championship chase, because they've kept it close to the line.
That they have here, watching some different battles up and down the field here as we see Matt Harmon in that number 28 giving a great run through back here in the back, and then Al Corey not too far behind as well as they continue along and are continuing to try to find pressure and apply the pressure where it needs to be applied, continuing to watch these great battles continue all the time as they go here. Ty Bass again up front has already pulled out almost a 1 second lead to Keaton Crothers, but here in the mid-pack things are continuing to stay together. Herzog in P10 trying to get past Al Corey if he can find a way to do so, and he's certainly looking good here. But you can see Darlington, it's that high skill where everyone's kind of fanning out single file. You got to watch the exit of 2 there as Mark Jarrell slams the exit of 2, or no, sorry, that was Elton Woo.
At the back as well, I noticed a little bit of a turning for Tex Nichols as Mike Seymour goes into the side of him. Seen a few drivers go into the back and the side of drivers, especially in the sort of back half of the grid. Everyone's been able to keep their car in one direction. Every contact hasn't been a yellow, but seems like when drivers are getting close, it is tough for them out there. I'm seeing a few very, very easy passes. Just saw another driver, Mark Gerald, make a pass into the wall. It just seems getting past people. This car's dirty air enough already, but just getting around people in any car around here is tough. I'm seeing more contact down there at the back. Whoa, a big slam on Tyler Ruelas.
Yeah, Tyler Ruelas there with a hard hit into the wall. Marcus Seymour will send it around the inside through. It almost looked like Tyler wasn't even trying to turn, honestly. I mean, You see there, we talk about the Darlington stripe that you get here around the track, and, well, Tyler doing a great job of exhibiting what that looks like there through 3 and 4. And of course, if you're not familiar with Darlington, well, this is what Darlington looks like. I'm sure if you're watching this, you know, but it's not an identical 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. So it is a slightly different track layout on each corner. You have to approach it slightly differently, and I think that throws some people off. Right now, it's not throwing off Keaton Crothers, who's gained up to 0.2 of a second into Ty Bass.
I like to describe Darlington as the horrors, and not in like a I think this is bad or like I hate it way, because there are other tracks I can actually complain about. You know, the horrors have to unfortunately exist to keep us all in check. They had to build a NASCAR track that was just the hardest thing on the planet, and surviving a lap around makes you a hero. They had to do it. Still keeps it the horrors, and that's what anyone that's tried to drive this thing in recent years would probably tell you. It is just baffling how like thin it is on the corner entry and exit, and how strange the banking is, but also just how much speed you can carry around corners that seem so tight when you've mastered it. It's an enigma.
Yeah, it's such a, I'm going to say something controversial. Darlington is not my favorite track to drive. And I'm going to leave that one to the wind as it goes, because I feel like I'll get yelled at eventually for that. Riding on board here again with Steve McClendon. Steve McClendon goes down the backstretch here behind Sean Bradley. All of our playoff drivers are right there, 2nd through 10th, with the exception of one of them, I believe here. No, is that most of them? Everyone that's in the session is there, 2nd through 10th, just lined up. So I have a feeling they're all kind of relaxing, though. They're all probably waiting to try to find a moment here as Ty Bass and Keaton Crothers are going side by side out of 4. A little bit of a tap there. They're going to hold on side by side. Down the front stretch they go. Into 1 and 2, they're going to come along, and, well, Ty Bass will hold on ahead of Keaton right now. Keaton has to think championship at this point, not just race. And caution flag is out.
You know what that means? It's meatball flags on the house. Michael Seymour and Derek Catt taking a big shot. I've got it locked and loaded for the replay, don't you worry.
I'm glad you do.
Here we go.
Let's see here. We go back. Let's find
I don't have the wit of Corey Silver, but I've got this instead, so it works.
Let's see here, and let's load into this replay here. Let's see what this... Whoa! What in the world was that?
2 for 2 there for a hit that hard. I'm like Derek Catt is still struggling to make it back into the pit lane. He's not going to do it, and Seymour's not going to make it to his pit box. So that's how bad these engines got rocked out here. We might need to. There always seems to be a need to check up on the EMTs when I'm around.
I'm just going to say nothing to that, because that was... Okay. The only thing I'll say, you see a car spinning, lift.
Full send? Free position? Just go for it? Nah, sometimes you really do just run into someone and you think, I really could have done something about that. Well, then you find out on the track when you can't even make it quite back to your pit box. Seymour and Catt will be able to fast repair back in, but they'll be sent quite some time back just by the tow time. Pit from some of this field: Keaton Crothers, Ben Harmon, Sean Bradley, and Al Corey, and our playoff drivers pit. The rest stay out to finish the stage. This means we have a front row of McClendon and Emert. Bit of a change of pace. If you're contending for that playoff win here, I do think stage points are really going to matter. Just to try, if you can get like an advantage of 5 or something on someone, that's now places you don't need to make up at the end of the race.
Absolutely. I think it's interesting to kind of watch here, too, the split strategy bag that's now coming to play with the caution here on lap 30. We know that the stage is in 15 laps, so are you really going to get that much pace out of the car on a fresh set? I can only assume a fresh set of tires here is what was taken from everyone who pit in, and everyone from Daniel Williams words are very hard here. Back have pit now to some degree, so I don't know if I would be the one to make that decision, but you can see some drivers deciding to pit, some not. So we'll see how it plays out here as the ice cream car and McClendon are our front row going in. McClendon opting for the inside, and McClendon's going to have the control on this restart.
I'm on team don't pit. I'm on team if I'm in this, top 4 and championships, just get these points done, because you will kick yourself if you don't. And there's going to be race resets, I think. We're not even at the stage yet. So there's going to be race resets for you to make your way up. And there's going to be more people that hit foghorns in the wall. So I'm on team like these points matter now. You make different decisions when it's all or nothing on the last race than then you make maybe earlier on in the season when you think, I can give these up strategically for something else.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to kind of watch how it plays through as the cars come off of 4 here. They are ready to get going, and here we go. Let's send this one off in green. Barney has the green flag. We're underway. McClendon has the run. Let's see how this goes here. McClendon with a great restart, takes off. Emert's going to immediately be under pressure here from Michael Hopkins. It doesn't look like it's going to last long. Matt Harmon there, our race sponsor, up in P number 4 and is going to continue to follow along. Let's just watch how this goes. There's a little bit of a wall tap in the background from Daniel Williams, who is going to drop back a little bit.
Lots of passing in the middle of the pack. Ty Bess and Ben Harkham side by side. Pass obviously has a track to work his way up. Fresh tyres, fast on this circuit already. Could just, make up places and places and places, and then be in a really good place for the stage. He has split the stage. The drivers that stop now, they're going to be starting the second stage. More than likely from the front of the pack. You wouldn't pit 10 into a run. Bit of a run on the topic of runs further up down the road. Keaton Crossers again on the inside as Jason Benson's in the wall. Drivers in the wall are losing pace to the wall very often.
That they are. It's such a problem to see here in the Uncrustables car currently. That number 81 of Mark Jarrell really coming undone there. It looks like left that out of the freezer a little too long. I don't know if you have Uncrustables in the UK, but I think they're delicious. Also, Dylan Freeman, what are you doing going 3 wide in the background there with Matthew Epting and Ryan Hyatt going through as they sort themselves out in the back here? Up front, still keeping an eye here as Elton Wu is up into P5. Continuing along, McClendon's only up in the lead by a couple of tenths, though, and is still kind of feeling the pressure, I would argue, as he continues along here. We're 10 laps to the stage. Stage is at the start of lap 45, so 10 laps to the stage here between McClendon and Emmert.
And there's 10 points for winning that stage, down to 1 for 10th. That's how the numbers work. Yes, you better believe you got someone that can do maths like 10 minus 9, okay? You better believe it. You only have the best this evening. But so I'd say that if you get the gaps are something like 10 to P2 and 7 down, 1 point might not seem like much until the end. That's just the feeling I've got. We hate to lose this race by 1 point. So by all means, fight for these positions if it's not going to finish and end your race. Ty Bass is making up time here in that 2 on edge car. Just got past the Dave's Hot Chicken for Ben Harkham. And every time Ty Bass's car runs up against the wall, you get the feeling that he is not going to hit it, unlike some of these other drivers, which is starting to scare me a little. William Emer up front wants to try and get under McClendon. Passing here as hard as ever, though.
That it is here. Emmert coming off of the run here. 36 of 140 in the books here for the season finale of season number 8 of Triple Bypass. Mark Herzog is dropping well down the order. No caution. However,
the line here is deceptive and strange. You were the one that originally sort of taught me about the yellow code, although I've heard from others in the business that some of the track refreshes are starting to break your rule when it comes to the line, and cautions get called quite a bit early. This one, though, sort of feeling like quite an iRacing rules, where it feels wherever the track is flat, you're not getting those cautions coming out.
for some reason, it doesn't surprise me that with the refreshes, it's starting to break the all consistent rule that's been in iRacing since its inception. Because, of course, again, with the new NASCAR game that's supposed to be coming out from iRacing, it's going to be interesting to watch and kind of see as they update things from the game to the sim here, how everything works together and goes through. Watch Matt Harmon and Elton Wu, bumper to bumper they go there. Elton Wu is not playing around at all coming through into the quarter and was bump drafting. Guys, we're at Darlington, not Daytona. We're in South Carolina, but they are racing just as hard as ever coming through here around towards lap number 40.
Boogity, boogity, boogity! If wait first, you're last. Ricky Bobby attitude is running high in this field right now, let me tell you that. I was staring at that just thinking, like, is that actually what Ricky's doing and what he's going for? But, I mean, the car's in one piece, and everything about this track breaks the existing rules. That's a bit of a war grind from 2 in a row. I mean, I wish these cars could leave paint on the wall in iRacing, because I'd love to just see how horribly colourful that wall gets, and by the end the stripe isn't quite rendered in the current model, but these drivers have already made quite the stripe, let me tell you that.
I would love to see the stripe rendered in iRacing. Maybe they'll add that one day, but as of right now, it's not there. But, I mean, you can see right there, Matt Harmon just absolutely smacked the wall as hard as he could going through. And there it is again. There's a hard wall hit. Here comes Ty Bass underneath Keaton Crothers. Sean Bradley follows him along as well. And that is what happens when you hit the wall like it owes you money. Because here we go around here. Matt Harmon, Elton Wu's now gotten past, and this is just all mixing up in the midfield. Meanwhile, up front, Emmer is still behind McClendon by 2/10, but here in the back end of the top 10, it is just all mixed up.
Really running out of time on the stage. I think drivers might be starting to get a little bit desperate. I notice our top 5, all drivers that didn't stop, they've kept the pace. Behind them, they're now being bothered by the drivers that did. Ty Bass, he feels inevitable today on this track, and he's right over the bumper of Harmon. I bet he'll get at least Harmon by the end of the stage. Maybe Wu's going to be another struggle, but he's making this car look like as DRS down some of these straights with just how he's able to run momentum, get over or under people, and fly on by.
He's got a lap and a half to get it done here. Here is Matt Harmon ahead. Is he going to be able to get the pass done? Well, let's see. Great send here through around. He's going to be right on that rear bumper on the exit coming down the main straight. And will he be able to bring it through? Well, Sean Bradley's going to be looking for the pass on Ty Bass instead on the entry into 1 and 2. They go side by side. White flag is out for the stage. Here we go through, coming around down the inside. Sean Bradley and Ty Bass hard hit into the wall.
Little bit of contact between the two. I'm surprised that no one went around. Meanwhile, we're seeing passes for the top 3. Elton Wu making it around Michael Hopkins, who's very, very slow. I think Harmon could end up getting him on exit as well. We're desperately running out of time, and that might just be a saving grace. No yellow yet. Ty Bass is flying.
Ty Bass, great pace here up into 5th. No yellow has been thrown yet here as we go through, continuing along. Stage has not been called yet. McClendon up in the front, going along, is still going through. McClendon will have the stage win, the all-important stage points here on his chase for the championship. Currently leads the standings, if I'm not mistaken, and should be in a good position here, crossing the line. We keep going here. I'm pretty sure the stage was lap 45. I'm going to double-check myself now, because we're still running green.
Yeah, that's what they told us. I can tell you that one for sure. Maybe laps will just continue until morale improves.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like they have decided to just keep this thing moving for a little bit. Maybe admin decided to call it lap 50 instead of lap 45. Let's see here what happens as they continue along, going up, down, and all the way around here in the Harmon Racing 140. And we'll get a stage eventually. I'm going to guess it's lap 50 at this point if it wasn't 45. Sean Bradley still right here in the mix with Ty Bass. Ty Bass trying to put pressure on Michael Hopkins. Going through McClendon here up in the front, though. Dominating run. A good gap to Elton Wu, and then a good gap back to Hopkins. But for Hopkins, no gap to be found. No breathing room to be found yet.
The Google Calendar event. I'm not kidding you. The Google Calendar event says 55. So, Alcori, nice trick. Nice sneaky one you threw on me. You didn't get this wrong. Our channel says 45, but we are going to call it at 55, I think, if that's how they're going to play this. And we're going to keep going for more than another 5. Ty Bass in P5. I think you could get more with this sort of time. He's a little bit back from Michael Hopkins to second, but what a second at Darlington. Look, it's just right in front of him.
Yeah, he's looking really good here going through. Let's see what he does into 1 and 2. He's going to go and try to get up the inside. Little bit of a look there. He's going to hold on along, and you can see that number 10 of Hopkins taking a slightly tighter line, trying to avoid that stripe. Ty Bass with a dive down into the inside, and here we go going through inside into 3 and 4. Sean Bradley on the high line here looking for a move, but Ty Bass should be able to clear here off of 4 through 4. Closes the door very aggressively, but Ty Bass is through into 4th place. But now Sean Bradley wants to get the move as well, and Michael Hopkins losing 2 positions in the matter of 1 lap and possibly 3 if Matt Harmon can get by.
Where's the pace going up and off by a rock? Well, just passed by 2 drivers on the fresher tyres, 3 down the road, still on the old ones, and Harmon behind still on those 50-lap-old tyres too, but he is faster. He could just make this gap up behind Ben Harcum, stint of 21. He'd need to do a miracle. Even the chat's backed us up on this, by the way. The broadcast channel told us 45, so thank you very much, Dustin. You get a gold star, okay? Get a gold star. But it's 55. The gods have decided it, and this race really started to string out. Although there's a little bit of lap traffic up ahead. I noticed Ty Bass passing cars that sure aren't his. That's a 60 of Tex Nichols.
Sean Bradley with a big wiggle off of 4 going through and able to get back in line there. Tex going a lap down. Tyler Royales is a lap down. Continuing along, looking at some battles a little bit further back here. Ben Harcum again through. Keaton Crothers looking for a battle here in P10. Dylan Freeman is looking to get past Mark Jarrell in the 81, looking for P number 14 on the field here as they come towards the stage. Every stage point matters up here in the front. It is again going to be the run here going through. Elton Wu is putting pressure on William Emer. Will the ice cream melt? Will it stay good? Hard hit into the wall, and the 5 has to go very defensive there. Elton Wu trying to avoid a collision, and Emer able to kind of hold on, but there's a hard hit to the outside wall, and I'll tell you right now, these next-gen cars can only take so much of that as they go along here. Elton Wu and Ty Bass now hot on the heels of Emer. Will they be able to get the pass done? I'll tell you right now, Ty Bass is the only one here that's hit out of these 3, so let's see if Ty Bass can capitalize as we're lap 54 of 55 to the stage.
I mean, that's Darlington there. Wu almost had it till he didn't, and then Wu almost had it until he didn't. Another huge shot for Ema. That's going to send him down the track. Elton Wu makes a downwards move to try and adjust, but he has the momentum and pace above the invisible line, and I think Wu's been slowed down so hard. That's 1, and it could even be 2. Ty Bass could make it to the top 3. It's the first time I've seen him in the wall, but the yellow comes out just in time.
Steve McClendon with a great run there. Ended up having a 1.7 second advantage coming across the line there ahead of Elton Wu to get to the stage there. William Emer in 3rd. Ty Bass, Sean Bradley rounding out your top 5. As it stands in playoff points, we'll bring that up here as a brief reminder for you. As it stands here on the playoff points, Steve McClendon is the leader with Sean Bradley in 2nd. And I'll tell you right now that Steve McClendon is probably going to be feeling pretty good here as they go. A lot of cars into the pits quickly, starting out with Steve McClendon coming through. Everyone else, no surprise, following him behind. And I tell you what, I'm going to let you, Howie, have a word with Matt Harmon if Matt Harmon is available as soon as Matt Harmon stops.
I will say, by my calculation, this has given a big advantage to Steve McClendon. Sean Bradley was the next car behind, and he didn't finish anywhere near as high. So that gap could now be above 10, and once it's above there, it's looking very difficult to make up unless McClendon loses it this race entirely, which is very easy to do at Darlington. I think that's done a lot for his championship prospects, so just making it to that position in time.
Definitely think it has here. Matt Harmon joining us here in the booth. Matt, how'd the first half of this race treat you?
Actually pretty good, guys. Felt like I was getting in a groove there for a little while.
Definitely seemed like it going through. Matt, you sponsored today's race. I know you were supposed to sponsor one earlier in the season, and you and the Corgis have a little truce agreement from how I understand it. So you didn't get an airstrike, and in exchange, you got the season finale.
Yeah, we worked up a little deal where I wouldn't get an airstrike, and I'd get the season finale for a sponsorship.
So, Matt, I got to ask, looking through here for the back end of the race, what do we think the odds are? You're obviously a playoff driver going through. Points are pretty tight all the way through. Do we think you're going to be able to get up front, or are we thinking championship tonight?
I don't think I'm in the hunt for the championship. I think I'm too far out of it, but I'm going to give it my best to try to get up here and at least try to get a few spots and maybe finish in that top 5.
Absolutely. And we're 1 to green here. Anyone you want to thank or shout out before we let you go real quick?
Thank you guys for always putting on a good show, all the admin and everybody in this league. Little known fact, they sponsor my kid's go-kart. So they came together and helped us get back on the track after he had a bad accident. So
awesome, man. Well, we'll catch up with you more later. Good luck for the rest of the race, and have a good restart.
Appreciate it, guys.
Was telling Matt Harmon to have a good restart a bit of a commentator's curse waiting to happen.
The foghorn's ready, Brad.
It probably should be, because you know the back half of this race is about to get wild, just as I do. We're going to come around here, and it's going to be Ben Harcum who has control of the field going into the green flag. We're underway. Ben Harcum with a great run. Corey is in second place. I don't know where Al Corey came from, but hello. Welcome to the front. Here's Dylan Freeman's up the inside. Dylan Freeman making things very complicated, not able to get through. And here we go. Things move quick. Steve McClendon going through. Ty Bass is up into the front. And look at this exit off of 2. Lots of drivers getting lots of wiggles, but all the while they're going to try to hold it side by side. Sean Bradley, Elton Wu coming through. I see 3 wide in the background with Dylan Freeman there on the low side. I don't like that 3 wide, but they're going to make it work somehow. And we get at least one good lap in as McClendon takes a slap of the wall.
That whole race got stacked up by 3 drivers that didn't stop. It was the 3 at the front, Harcum, Corey, and Freeman. They are 30 laps old on the tyres. Everyone else did make their stop, and that's what stacked up the entire field. Freeman decided to get well out of the way, jumped all the way down to a left of a bad exit, whereas Corey just sort of held up the field after Ty Bass was able to sneak on by. Harcum hasn't held up many people. He got very good momentum from that restart in the restart zone, but Ty Bass is incredibly inevitable at this stage in the race, given these tyres, I think. He's already closing in 10ths per corner, and that's going to be a pass to take a race lead for now.
Yeah, but how long do we think this is going to last is my $1 million question, because this is going to be really interesting to watch here. There's the inside, Ty Bass getting through on Harcum, and you can see the stint leak there showing, and Al Corey corking the bottle for the rest of the field. Harcum still challenging, though, on Ty Bass, even with those older tires, so great run here to see from Ty Bass with Ben Harcum holding close behind. Al Corey, again, corking the bottle there with Sean Bradley looking to get through. Steve McClendon, I would not be surprised to see in a very quick time just try to at least get past Sean Bradley again with those championship implications coming to play.
It is all going to be about, pretty much from this stage though, it's kind of McClendon's race to lose as long as he has a decent position. He'd need to be more than 10 back on Bradley to really lose this championship. So I'm going to be watching his car throughout, because horrible things can happen to you at Darlington. Just like with Sam Al Corey's car, that's the same drop back that we saw from our other car that didn't take tyres. All the momentum gone. These just choose to get out of the way because these tyres are slow. I wonder how Harcum's going to react to this as well. Yeah, if McClendon has a respectable position, there is almost nothing Sean Bradley can do to take this at this point. The question is, there's just so much jeopardy here. There's so much jeopardy at Darlington in general. There's so much jeopardy in the way the next-gen Cup cars get driven here, if you know what I mean. So there's a little bit of like, I'm still not going to make a call, but it's going to be unpredictable elements out of our control to find this.
Ben Harkham with a bit of a wiggle there into the wall. Sean Bradley gets past. Elton Wu wants to work by now, if possible. Again, Harkham working on 35 laps on the tires. A little bit less grip, a little bit less to go here as we're lap 64 of 140 here in the Harmon Racing 140. Coming along here through, holding on at the moment. Elton Wu with a great run. Steve McClendon now trying to get in the mix. Elton Wu will get past here, and what can McClendon do as they come along here? We hop on board for just a moment with Steve McClendon looking through, and caution's out.
Don't even know what it is. I'm just going to make the call. It's Jason Benson sideways and backwards below the line on the start finish. This is where this race could easily change. This one looks self-inflicted extracurricular off the wall and no grip on the corner exit, by the way, although there's a particularly funny backwards whistle. Let me tell you that I am see the panic in your mouse cursor. I really like it's funny and it's a joy to view because we all produce things just a little bit differently. No one's right or wrong, but everyone does things a little bit differently. Backwards and around, and it's because you've set your filter really, really strictly. All right.
And the thing is, like, you know, going through, it's so funny. So one of the things that Howie gets to see, and me and Howie don't get to commentate a lot, but Howie is getting to see kind of the behind the scenes of how I do things here for Triple Bypass. And this is not my usual production. If you're, you know, watching PTR TV, my usual production is Wednesdays, and that is with Elbows Out Racing. And that is a road course. I use a completely different theme setup, completely different thing to what I'm using. And so there's a little bit of a learning curve here. This is why we love Corey. Corey is usually around and has this thing very well memorized. And, you know, it's very smooth and efficient. And, well, I'm not Corey Silva, obviously.
I'd learn it. I'm here. I'd learn it.
Yeah.
While we're on the yellow, few drivers stopping, do we want to talk next season? There's a few things to get through on the yellow, so let's take this opportunity to make you alt tab back into OBS and bring up more relevance for me.
Oh, absolutely. Let's go through here. So next season is season 9, correct? Yes.
I'm going to go with you. Yes, it's season 9, and we have the reveal of the schedule. That's why it looks so weird in the server, everybody. We have it.
Boom.
We don't have our full sponsorship list, but I am here to say that I've witnessed the death of funny names in the schedule this season, and I am going to fix that. I'm in on Daytona and Pocono, start and end of the season. Pocono is a big surprise for later, but Daytona, look out for the Wreckham Deckham Crash Bots race, because we're going to be having some very big ones to begin the season. Still 2 sponsorship opportunities available if you'd like your name on a race and to get it on the channel. I believe we're looking for North Wilkesboro and Auto Club. Contact Al Corey as ever.
And yes, I will confirm season 9 of Cup will be brought to you live here on PTR TV starting in 1 week's time on the 17th of August. We will be right back here next Sunday. You're missing nothing. We're coming right back with it. There is nothing for you to worry about. You're not going to have to tune in anywhere else. We're right back here on PTR TV. We've been very, very fortunate to be partnered with Triple Bypass for Season 8, and luckily they loved us enough, and we love them, of course, that they decided to sign us up for another season, and I'm very, very grateful for their partnership and for their trust they put into the channel. So I am very, very happy to be making that announcement that you'll get more of me and Howie and Corey Silva and possibly Patrick. We'll see if Patrick wants to tag in once or twice here throughout the next season as well, depending on schedules, availability, etc., etc. But you'll be back here next week to kick off season 9 with us here as we go through. Sean Bradley is on the lead with Ty Bass. Ty Bass is going to take control, and let's see how this goes here as we kick things off. I have no idea what caution number we're on. Welcome to PTR TV. We don't keep track usually. And here we go. Ty Bass with a great run there. Sean Bradley through. Elton Wu in 3rd. And Steve McClendon in 4th. They're trying to chase down Sean Bradley as they come through 1 and 2. Everybody's going to try to get single file. Benson a little bit further back there in the 42. Going side by side with Harkham. Harkham into the wall. Everybody wiggling. But everybody seems to be doing fairly okay as we get back green here. Lap 69. Very nice.
I'm glad we got our 69 under green. I was starting to get worried. Ty Bass got away by over a second at the start of the last run, and I think he might just get to do it again. Update on the pit stops, by the way. Daniel Williams, William Emert, Ben Harkham, Dylan Freeman, and Al Corey stops. So that's the drivers that didn't take it the first time, plus a few more. Every time I'm onto something weird has to happen, and I have to, hit the button. Even though the car stayed point forwards, we'll go with that.
Elton Wu absolutely smacking the wall like nobody's business, going through, gets the lunch money away, and then gives it right away to Harmon. Hard hit there into the wall, but thankfully nobody spins, and somehow we stay green. I don't understand it. And also I don't understand how the Corgi is back up at the B7. Ryan Hyatt, buddy, how have you worked your way that number 7 back up into 7 after that very, very early spin? Patient perseverance.
What is it with the non-playoff drivers coming in to spoil the party? Nah, they are well entitled to come and steal positions from anyone that was able to make it through the whole season, let me tell you that. Ryan Hyatt not quite getting to the bottom of Hopkins this time around, but yeah, from the bottom to the top, lots of cautions will do that for you. I've done the maths, by the way. It's 4 so far, 3 to go. Some things just come true, okay? Just letting you know.
I would believe that. I would believe that very much so here as we go along lap 72 of 140, and Ty Bass half a second back to Sean Bradley. Sean Bradley is closing, though, I will say, as he goes. Let's see here between Sean Bradley and Ty Bass. Last lap, couple tenths faster. Continuing to close things along. Let's check in between Harmon and Sean Bradley as they go 29.56, 29.49. So Harmon a little bit slower, but looking very consistent. And Steve McClendon really wants to try to get that pass sooner rather than later as we go along. Continue to watch these battles through. This has been a great race so far, all the way around. So let's see here where they can go as we go towards the closing stages. Some guys are going to start to get more aggressive as we go along. As we check back in here, William Emert a bit further back, again off strategy compared to everyone else. Will that play out in the end? How many more cautions do you think we're expecting?
I mean, I gave you the number. It's 7 total, so it's 3 to go. So, Nostradamus here in the seat, getting this all secured. I say Nostradamus, I usually predict Sean Bradley to win races, and then he's up at the top, and then something crazy happens at the very end. So maybe if I say Sean Bradley could challenge Ty Crest at the end of the race, he'll enjoy that curse being passed down. He has caught up decently within 5 tenths, not really been able to run away this time. Steve McClendon in P4 on the back of Harmon, trying to get past, in our view, was just on Hyatt there, who hasn't moved all too much. We're very, very single file right now.
Yeah, Hyatt really feeling the pressure here at the moment from Ben Harkham. Ben Harkham looking to try to get by, and Harkham, of course, hit 11 laps ago, so is on a slightly newer tire, and you're seeing the slight difference in that. But Hyatt able to position that car just right to get around and through and have a great run here as we ride on board with Ben Harkham here, looking at the black back end of that pink Chevrolet going through, just continuing along again. And let's see here if Harkham has anything to give to try to get past.
Yeah, very suspiciously clear back of that car. Sometimes sometimes things just happen. And we yellow again, Jason Benson. Is that Jason Benson again? I swear it's not the first time in my memory. It looks to me like, yes, it's almost a mirror incident of the first one, let me tell you that. Except, there's a bonus. I'll leave that to you. I'll leave the bonus to you. There's a bonus to this.
There's a replay, and I'm not looking forward to seeing it here. All right. Hard hit there. And no, not Michael Seymour flipping. No!
The EMT is on the way. They're going to help recover from that. I mean, sent into orbit. Slow down! Slow down!
Oh my gosh!
I'm feeling it in my bones this time. People heard that Corey wouldn't be on this, and the first thing they said was, "I'm not going to get roasted." So I have to keep up the momentum and say, I'm going to have to just play that game now myself.
listen, they should know better. They should know that if they're on PTR TV, they get roasted. Welcome to the fun. Al Corey into the pits here. Dylan Freeman, not into the pits. I thought he was. Ryan Hyatt and Daniel Williams is who I see there into the pits. Tyler Royales into the pits. Jason Benson's been parked for a little bit. Tex Nichols is in. It looks like getting a little bit of repairs done, but we'll see as it looks like Daniel Williams there actually missing the pit box, having to back up a little bit. Many drivers staying out, though, as they go. Ty Bass, one of those drivers staying out, along with a good chunk of the front of the field.
You get 3 tire changes in this race, and my memory does get foggy at the 3 a.m. mark, but it feels like some drivers have been in upwards of 5 times already, and they might just be doing fuel. But I mean, we've heard it might not really be fuel limited either, so you have to be aware of using the tires well. We're halfway through, just over halfway through the race, and we're on caution number 5 out of 7, so. There will be more time to slow it down, but you do want to have something for the end of the race when it matters. Surely you just do. You want to jump a bypass race. You don't want to let Ty Bass do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't want to let Ty Bass win it. So let's see what happens here going through. We're 1 to green. Sean Bradley, Steve McClendon. They're bumper to bumper right now. How do we think this is going to go?
Steve McClendon's in the prime position though to deliver the most pain. So if he wants to end this championship now, he could do it. The standards in terms of driver respect are really, really good here. This is not an ultra competitive league. People are here to have fun. If you actually turn someone for a championship, not only do you get punished, but also you're the giant party pooper of a league where that's just not really what we do anyway. But he is in prime kill shot position. Bradley is going to be running up the front for a lot of this race, and I think he is sort of that second shot, but Bass keeps choosing the bottom. Bass is going to have control of this field. He might just run with it again.
This is going to be such a fun one to watch here as we come through around to restart this race. Green flag going to be out here this time by coming through. Control car is Ty Bass, and Ty Bass gets through and is going to be in the run. Sean Bradley there into second. Steve McClendon able to get his way up ahead of Matt Harmon into third. Matt Harmon there into fourth, just slotting in, going through. It looks like everybody getting away fairly well here on the restart as they go. As back in the background, Michael Hopkins and Keaton Cruthers are going to go side by side.
Early run high side seems to be awful for a lot of these drivers. As it develops and as you get single file, everybody wants to run the wall, but that was another driver there who was just Michael Hopkins, pinned to the top. You think he sort of has pace, but you're so early in these cold tires that actually you get a little bit spooked and you just sort of slow it down and back off behind people. It's probably why Bass has taken that inside lane, even though he had the chance to run on the outside. I think early in the run, very first couple of laps, maybe you do just want that bottom in these cars and these setups and just to sort of hang with it for a short while.
Yeah, this is one of those that I kind of wonder what the best strategy is here. Also, check our weather. We haven't talked about the weather here as it goes. Currently 8:44 p.m. virtual time going through. Humidity is going up a little bit. 9-mile-an-hour wind, not bad, and 82-degree track tip with a 78-degree air temp. So nice weather here as it continues to get dark into night. Of course, it's a championship race, so no surprise to see that. Steve McClendon up into third. In second place, Sean Bradley. This is your 2 big dogs for the championship right now. So I would really say if they're going to finish P2, P3, whatever they're going to do, the one ahead of the other is going to determine who's the champion here for Season 8.
Not really in the margin of one place like this. Again, I've got what should be a points calculation, but it's probably slowly drifting away from reality. There needs to be 10 places in this for Sean Bradley. I'm bursting the bubble of you. You're just trying to make this exciting at home, and I'm just like, reality, bonk on the head. Unfortunately, but Glendon's going to need to get very unlucky. He probably can sort of just run his race in P3 and know that this is how it's going to end for him. It's probably how I expect him to do things. Bradley probably just wants to win because winning's really cool, and that's worth it as well. And again, he's closer to Ty Bass than earlier on in the race when Ty Bass just ran away like you've never seen before.
Listen, we got to build a little bit of suspense in. Come on, give me a break here. Just trying to do what I'm paid for here as we go along. And Sean Bradley, half a second, 0.4 of a second back for Ty Bass. Ty Bass and On Edge Racing there being very comfortable up in the front, I'd say, having a great run so far. And as you said, McClendon, I think if I'm McClendon, I'm just comfortable in third place and running along. McClendon, a former champion here in the Cup Series as well, so knows what needs to be done to win. Actually is the defending Season 7 champion here for the NicholsOilPros.com series. Here's the defending champion of Steve McClendon. So let's see if he can do it again. Wouldn't surprise me a bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Ty Bass isn't in the playoffs. I need to check the results, but most importantly, you have to finish 8 out of 11 races to be considered, even if you do get a win. But if the problem is attendance, and I will check this in the background because you're busy enough as it is, then yeah, looking, it's not really attendance. Actually, just he got very, very, very close to the line and just didn't quite make it. He's the sort of driver that I'd imagine to be a contender at some point down the line very, very, very easily.
I fully agree with that as we go through and watch these battles continue, checking in here as we go. We've crossed half race distance, so let's do a quick through the field here and get some camera time on some different drivers we have. It's starting with Matt Harmon there, who you just saw run through. Let's run in through our top 10 here as they go, and currently it is going to be Ty Bass up in the lead here. Second place, Sean Bradley. As we've talked about, Steve McClendon in third. Really can just run comfortably there. Matt Harmon in fourth, and you saw him have that little bit of a wiggle. He started in 12th. Fifth place, Elton Wu started P13. Keaton Crothers there started first, currently sitting in sixth. You can see Darlington playing its way through. Ben Harcum started fourth, currently seventh. Michael Hopkins, 5th to 8th. Mark Herzog, 14th to 10th. William Emer is in P number 9, and Mark Herzog in 10th. Dylan Freeman, 8th to 11th. We saw Dylan Freeman make things very interesting earlier on with a spin. Al Corey, 9th to 12th here, dropping a couple places. Benson able to move up a few. Daniel Williams, 10th to 14th. And then it's the Corgi, Ryan Hyatt there, running in P number 15. Mark Jarrell, the Uncrustable car, coming uncrusted, unglued, and having a great frozen run here. P16 started 15th. Tyler Ruyelis there in the Take Me Back to Eden car, P17. Tex Nichols, our series sponsor for this Sunday Night Cup Series, Triple Bypass Racing, is running P18. Matthew Epting is in the pits along with Derek Catt.
You know, it does say something about this community that it's a community that really, really, really means a lot to me, in a sense that one of my first ever serious broadcasts was offered on this league. It was with you, the first time ever Mew was on this league, and I once tried to challenge for an Xfinity series until Nashville happened, which was fun. But it's just fun. It says something about the league that it still lives in my mind like that, and yet I still don't understand all the lore. I mean, there's a lot of talk about corgis, and I understand that they are a team that are up to no good, and that's about where it ends. That's up to no good. That's Elton Wu's car sideways. Is that going to be the yellow when it goes around? It's worthy of a horn no matter what, I'll be honest, but amazingly, iRacing will not call it.
And look at that, Elton Wu being respectful enough to back the car up, not pull up on the racing surface, and then get back forward so that way Elton Wu doesn't trigger a caution. Now, that is great driving from a very, very great driver. And that is, that's the essence of triple bypass there. Great respectful runs. And when you have a moment like that, didn't trigger the caution and knew enough that the caution wasn't triggered to know to kind of back out of it a little bit and go through. This has opened things up, though, and made things a little bit interesting there for everyone because Elton Wu was up here in the mix. Sean Bradley's caught up to Ty Bass here and is going to start challenging. And now Steve McClendon has a great look here in through. So let's see how this mixes up as Sean Bradley's going to start challenging.
So the script is that Sean Bradley's going to challenge Bass, having a really good race, and then something inexplicable is going to happen in 20 laps, and the sky will fall. But for now, he's been running fast and he's been catching up quite well. Last lap, 2 tenths faster. Bass is just slower than those behind him, actually. Tyres are quite even, but a 30.3 versus a 30.1, 30 even, 30.0. Newest laps come in. He's still on par, but he's just a little bit slower. He used to just be able to consistently do it. Maybe he has just used up these tyres very, very rapidly, and now he's sort of being chased down like a shark.
Now let's watch here as they go through. Ty Bass, Sean Bradley continuing along here. Let's see how they do as they cross the line here as the lights have come on. We're into the heart of the night here in Darlington, South Carolina. And you got to wonder, is that going to let this fixed setup kind of come to different drivers who maybe didn't enjoy it before and we're just trying to get through the evening here as we're coming in towards lap 100 of 140. And when we hit that 40 to go, will anyone change anything going through? Will we see some drivers kind of open it up a little bit? Is there a little bit of the endurance game being played right now to just survive to the end? It wouldn't surprise me a bit here. Sean Bradley, a little bit of a wiggle there, and that is going to allow Ty Bass to breathe a little bit easier. I want to check in with Steve McClendon and look at those lap times. 31:09 to a 31:56. But tapping the wall there, that's not going to help this time through.
Who hasn't touched the wall about 50,000 times? I was having a chat about Corey before the race because I was trying to work out the championship points, and I was trying to work out, oh, there's a bonus for going 2x or less, and he just told me no one's going to go 2x or less at Darlington. It's just not going to happen. You will eventually hit that wall hard enough for the gods of iRacing to say no thanks to you. And I wonder how many of those extras have been triggered up to now. Won't get to find out till the end. Right now, Bass now feels back in control. And sort of pulled out that gap a bit more. Here's Harmon on McClendon. Harmon fast on the high side. McClendon, he's ducking down the pit road.
And McClendon opting for a green flag run here. He's 43 laps in. So this pit will let him run to the end of this race without pitting, regardless caution or otherwise. So McClendon pitting in now. That is a brave run here for the defending champion coming through. This race is going to have to go the way he thinks it's going to go. And I got to say, he's rolling dice here. We're in South Carolina. We're not in Vegas, but he's rolling the dice hard.
If Sean Bradley finishes second, to my understanding, don't quote me on this, and certainly don't get my lawyers involved, around P13 is where McClendon would have to finish in order to lock this up, to lose this championship, barring the clean race and fastest lap points, which can just come in at the end and just break everything I've ever done, because it might just be a 1 or 2 point gap. So if he gets trapped down here, that's a horrible nightmare experience. But the early stop, he split this into two, and he's feeling calm that even if there's a yellow, people are going to need to stop eventually, and he'll end up just somewhere that makes sense for him.
So McClendon is now the only car a lap down, which means basically the automatic lucky dog without a care in the world, but is going to have the benefit of fresh tires here going through. So let's see if fresh tires make that much of a difference going around. And here we go. That is going to be Steve getting around Mark Jarrell, and now is just going to set his sights forward, running. No, that is not what we needed. Tyler Ruielas into the wall. But Tyler stays off the racing line. No caution is out. There is the leaders going by Tyler.
My bet! There's like at least $100 on this, guys. Can we queue them up properly? Yeah, iRacing really not giving them away on this start-finish straight due to where that groove lies. Keeping an eye on a few drivers moving up and down and around. Battle between Herzog and Hopkins has seen Herzog jump by up front. Sean Bradley still sort of like striking distance in like an awkward way. Tyler Ruielas, which thank you for telling me how to pronounce that, has made it into the pit lane. We're going to start to see more of these drivers take now. We're going to be interested to see when the top ones do, because they're going to be cutting the stage long the first half and then short the second, whereas championship leader has decided to sort of cut it even.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to watch here. As Sean Bradley here is now going to dive in. Some more green flag stops coming through as Elton Wu and Tex Nichols are battling right in front of Ty Bass. Ty Bass trying to decide how to work through. Sean Bradley has now decided green flag pit stop is the run here. 49 lap stint and is in going through. So Steve McClendon very clearly deciding to pit early there. Could have went another 10 or 15 laps. Deciding not to here. Run it to the end. Hit ahead of the leaders. Try to take advantage of some fresh rubber, fresh track position here. Sean Bradley in, and that relegates Ty Bass to just run alone here and have a good run. Let's see here, but no, Ty Bass responds and is in this time through. Matt Harmon will now take over the lead.
Here comes the trickle one by one, keeping an eye on who else is seeing incrementing times. Michael Hopkins makes the duck into pit road just behind. Sean Bradley leaving the lane now. This is do definitely lose laps under green here, so this will settle out and make sense soon. Until then, I'm going to have to make things up based upon not quite having a graphic for this. So, Harmon and Herzog have run the longest on this stint. They're going to be the next two to start between Emert and Harkham, who can wait a little bit longer, another 10 laps. Williams, Hayat, and Corey Benson will probably be behind even them. Although you might want good tyre life for as long as you can get out the second half of this final stage. 15 minutes of green flag racing to go. And we've got 2 of my prophesized courses to fit in there. So just you wait. And in that time, it's becoming a bit of a strategy game.
We have the stints here pulled up on the side, and you can see there 53 laps for Matt Harmon. Definitely the longest driver to run out there. Ty Bass now out ahead of Steve McClendon. That was important to see. And Steve McClendon with a faster stop. Or no, Ty Bass only took 2 tires. That is the difference here. Ty Bass with a 10.5-second stop is able to get out ahead of Steve McClendon, but only 2 tires. So look at that, 10.5 versus 14.4. That is all the difference that it made, but can Ty Bass take advantage of that? Ty Bass under the inside there of Jason Benson going through, and now McClendon's going to have to work past as well. We have a race for the win on our hands.
This is interesting, because this is a sort of track where you can 2-tire, because it's a very single groove, but you're not just doing this for a late race sprint. You're doing this for the entire run of the end of this race, hoping that in the long run, this helps you out. Last lap at 29.4. That's faster than McClendon, who took 4. So it's not hurting him now. May have done some study on that. Can you just check something for me? Because I think something very strange has happened. What has happened to the front of Ben Harkham's car?
Oh no, what has happened to Harkham? Harkham with a hard hit into the wall. We'll see if we can find out exactly what's happened here. I have anything?
Oh no, this is on pit entry.
Oh no, let's get a replay here really quick and see what happened.
Oh no, my heart breaks just watching this myself. Now you guys are going to have to suffer through my pain.
All right, we don't usually do this, but this is what happened to Harkham. Bing! See if we can get a... So that is what happened to Harkham. And then Matt Epting also had something happen somewhere, but Harkham, what a hit. And then Dylan Freeman had a moment as well. Into pit entry.
Oh no! We've made 2 drivers have just missed it. What have we done?
All right, well, as you can see, pit entry easier said than done, apparently. So, yeah, this is getting interesting. Daniel Williams now the only car that needs to pit going through. Lots of cars have taken through and around, but Daniel Williams, only 34 lap stint so far, mathematically can't make it to the end, question mark?
Maths are hard.
It's also like
34. I mean, yeah, if you're 34 into a stint, you're not going to make it to the end. And another
26 laps
30.
to go.
Oh God. Are we gonna
So that
gonna
would be
have
lap
a
60. That would be 60 laps exactly for Daniel Williams. And we were told that 60 was the max you could make a fuel run work. There's no way, right?
The only good thing about this is that unlike NBC, we don't have graphics that tell you drivers are on 0% while they burn it out. So we're not going to lie to you if this becomes a fuel race. But someone up here has to be thinking, can I make this a fuel race? I'm going to listen on board to some engines.
Let's hop on board here with Daniel Williams.
Listen to that car.
Let's see. So, is there fuel saving? He's not clutching in.
I thought he was. I just didn't realize just how you have to drive this track.
No, he's
we're not doing that yet.
So Williams clearly must feel comfortable, or is rolling the dice on a very late caution, but is not clutching in yet.
Hyatt's not doing it. Corey's not doing it. Benson might be. Benson's doing it.
So if Benson's doing it, this is what clutching in looks like, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the RPMs in the bottom right, dropping all the way down to idle, dropping into fourth gear, then coming back up. So that is what we would expect fuel saving to look like. Versus let's hit Daniel Williams here through the corner, not shifting down, not clutching in gear. RPMs are not dropping down all the way to the 1,000, 2,000 range.
Oh, I get it. They've been listening to the broadcast and they know that in the two cautions that are coming, they'll save the fuel, obviously.
Absolutely. They have to know. That is such a great thing to see from them as they go through. Checking back in with the Ty Bass, Steve McClendon, Sean Bradley thing here. Howie, Ty Bass, 2.7 seconds ahead of Steve McClendon, but Steve McClendon and Sean Bradley separated by 0.3 of a second.
Looking at the times, Bass is still fast. Bass is still fast on two tires. He's just, I don't know if he's just been practicing this or whether that's just something that comes with experience. Talking in the chat, by the way, Al says he can just make it to the end like this. So that Derek Katz listening and somehow typing while driving. Actually, no, he's not driving. He's been sitting in the pit lane for some time. But he's like our inner mole. We should honestly hire you to be the inner mole. But Al thinks he can just do this as he's going. Other drivers in the chat might have heard the same thing. Ryan Hyatt's in that chat. Daniel Williams isn't. But maybe he has the same idea and he's seen the same readings.
This is so interesting to kind of watch and calculate out. We're 20 laps to go now. The Corgi is starting to close in a little bit on Daniel Williams as Williams here is continuing along. Hyatt's closed the gap down to half a second. Ty Bass here, again, a lap down, trying to get back on the lead lap. So that is something that we also haven't touched on. The fact that the top five are on the lead lap, but nobody else is. So they all still need to rotate through and pit. 20 laps to go, though. If they can stretch it, which Elton Wu is on lap 65 of the stint.
He's not doing it.
Elton Wu isn't going to stretch, but the fact that Elton Wu is on 65 and 42, 42, 43, Williams, Hyatt, Corey, respectively, they may be able to stretch it.
A yellow might have slightly extended him. He's coming into pit lane now because we just about hit. But obviously, a yellow will give you a few laps back, even if you're not trying to save. And I don't quite know if when he made that stop, but obviously, stop on the caution, there's a few laps slow. But that's Elton Wu's stop. There's no. So if we're going by the calculus of everyone thinks they could do it, nobody else has to stop as like a mathematical guarantee. We know this one for sure. Everyone now thinks they can do this, but Benson is the last of the fuel savers here, and Ty Bass charging up. He's matching pace of the drivers ahead. He's not that much faster. So if no one's charging up and things stay as they are, then why, in what world do we have Daniel Williams as Ryan Hyatt as top two after how this race started?
I don't know. I'm very confused how this race has turned into what it's turned into, honestly. like, watching through, it makes sense, right? Like, I understand that this is where we're at, but I'm also still confused.
Right. The maths have stopped mathsing.
Yeah, no.
Over.
This is one of those moments where Corey should be here, because I think even Corey's brain would be broken. And when Corey Silva's brain is broken, you genuinely know that an oval race has not done when you expect it to here. Ty Bass right on the back of Ryan Hyatt here ahead. Again, a lap down, though, still. And with 15 laps to go, Ty Bass would have to lap Hyatt and Williams here and then get all the way back around to pass them for the lead. So I don't think Ty Bass is going to win this unless something random happens. But McClendon, Sean Bradley, they are tucked in bumper to bumper, continuing along. Let's ride on board here with Sean Bradley and see what he can do to get past. We've certainly given it the old college try, I'd say. Looking for a pass here, trying to do things different. Might try to send down the inside this time, and it does look like he's going to get through to the inside here. McClendon going a little defensive, coming through side by side. We'll go down the main stretch, and let's see here into 1 and 2. They'll continue side by side. Will the pass get done? And McClendon lifts there and gives Sean Bradley the place. It's kind of moot in the point of the championship, but with 13 laps to go, Sean Bradley, that's got to feel good for.
Just give him one more race. Just give him one more race and he can fix this. Maybe he's thinking that in the back of his mind. But NASCAR's point system is sort of notoriously like very, very long run rewarding. It's very hard to, run away with a breakout performance just because of how one position is 1 point for almost everybody on the track. Up front, I'm keeping an eye on Hyatt here on Williams, who, do we remember what happened to Hyatt at the start of this race? It's short memories, I know, but actually we've not gone that yellow at Darlington, which just proves that the funniest things happen here on PTR TV, and Hyatt's looking racy and pacey enough to possibly take this. That's how I'm feeling.
And it would be Hyatt's second win this season, I believe, if I'm not wrong, going through. Of course, the Corgi won the Corgi race, and, whenever you have the Corgi airstrike or having their head Corgi win, they all go a little bit crazy. And as you can see, if Hyatt can win it again, he's going to be feeling really good here as they come along around. Ty Bass still stuck behind, not able to get past. Darlington proving tricky to get past here as we hit 11 laps to go. Coming across, 10 laps to go here left for the season finale here of Season 8 of Triple Bypass. Just under 5 minutes of racing to go.
He's dropping back now, and somehow Daniel Williams has gone from P10 driver, was just one of the drivers on the field, I didn't really overthink it, to a possible major race winner here. Lots going on around Elton Wu's car over here. I think multiple people on different laps all sort of scrambling around each other close on the track. Almost sent it 2 and 3 wide, but Elton Wu is actually 23 seconds back from Dylan Freeman. But he's pacey. He's got those very, very fresh tyres. Might be able to make that lap back. That'll be a struggle. That gap for Ryan Hyatt, now 3 attempts. Obviously now they're in sort of the good old next-gen bubble where you're here and now all of a sudden you can't actually pass the car ahead. Gotta say, by the way, I love the cams. I love Whiplash Sim Cam, except that one on the back of the car. Don't really see the point of it myself, but I love the gyro cam and like the onboard helmet cam that we get to see the way the driver's head moves as they make it through the bends. He's used his fast repair, wrecked out very, very early in this race, made it up to P2. It'll feel good to do a comeback run like that on our track, though it's usually quite hard to pass.
Absolutely. He's going to have to be happy with it here as he goes through. You can see they're dipping into the line, into 1 and 2 as they come along here with 7 laps to go in the Harmon Racing 140 here, the season finale of Season 8 of Triple Bypass Racing. A big thank you to everyone here who is still watching in live as they go along. Continuing through to watch, Al Corey and Jason Benson have swapped positions there. Al Corey now up into the podium places, the boss man himself up into P3 here as they go, but all eyes back on that number 51 of Steve McClendon in 7th place, who has Sean Bradley ahead in that number 77 racing machine going through for Sean Bradley. Again, it's one of those, if you had one more race, one more opportunity, one more caution went your way, what would happen? What would happen? And for Steve McClendon, it's back-to-back championships. That has to feel good for Steve. He's going to be looking to defend. Will he go 3 in a row next season? Well, he's got to finish this out here as we hit 5 laps to go this time by.
Jason Benson's another one of those cars. Is Jason Benson the Stay Puft car that repeatedly spun and crashed? Or does he have a teammate in the same design that repeatedly spun out and crashed? I can't actually remember, but there certainly was a Stay Puft Ghostbusters car that repeatedly spun out and crashed and is now just sitting up here in P4 position. Talk about kooky, weird, and brain-busting things today. I think all our brains have been well and truly turned into mush, like they will be at my sponsored Triple Bypass race next season. Be there or be square, am I right? But mostly, it's just been a race where strategies have just sort of flipped, and a few drivers that have realized they might be able to play this differently have pulled a real cat out of the bag.
Yeah, this has been a great one to watch here as they go through and along. Sean Bradley, Ty Bass here. They are chasing down Daniel Williams at the moment. There is Williams coming through. But again, this is sort of a moot point because they're a lap down. They'd have to get a whole nother run around the circuit with 3 laps to go. So they can Daniel Williams can afford to just let them by and not really fight it, not give a problem. Daniel Williams has played the strategy perfectly. Is there any saving going from Daniel Williams is my question. It's right on board here. No is the answer. Look at that. Not lifting, nothing, or not clutching, not coasting. A little bit of an earlier lift into the corner, but lets through Ty Bass, but not clutching. There goes Sean Bradley through. Hits the wall hard. Daniel Williams does. Did that do any big damage to the car? Let's see here as we go through. Let's check the helmet cam. There is a bit of an angle to that wheel that doesn't look comfortable there. Steve McClendon's now through, but it's taken them so long that really for Daniel Williams, I think the only fear is the pink car of Hyatt.
Pass for the lead on the outside on the last few laps, but Daniel Williams misses the turn and comes up, both facing forwards. We almost had a calamity as the white flag is on the way. He's chosen to just let him by. What a way to end the season, just like that. Ryan Hyatt, after crashing out at the start of this race, is going to come home to take the checkered flag here at Darlington.
I did not expect that. And meanwhile, as they go through, there is Ty Bass spinning there. Sean Bradley going through. That was a hard battle. I didn't catch how that started. That is Ty Bass spinning. Sean Bradley now with Steve McClendon behind. They'll come through to cross the line. And it is going to be Steve McClendon, who unofficially here, will confirm shortly, is going to claim the championship here, back-to-back champion in the Nichols Oil Pros Cup Series here with Triple Bypass Racing. Season 7 champion, Season 8 champion. Amazing run from him there as Ty Bass will cross the line back in P7 after that battle with Sean Bradley, Steve McClendon going through. But Ryan Hyatt, the Corgi, able to pull it out of nowhere.
It's always the Corgis. I'll never understand. What a run and what a topsy-turvy race. One that didn't go mega yellow, but instead was just full of weird twists and turns and surprises. These guys produce surprises, let me put it like that. And that's certainly one that we're going to put down as probably a bigger story than the champion of the day.
What a great run there. McClendon burning it down. No surprise there to see McClendon absolutely ripping that car apart as we go through. And let's get our post-race show underway. Your tentative race results as they stand are as follows. Unofficial results: Ryan Hyatt, Daniel Williams there in second. Al Corey, the boss man, in P3. So we'll get to talk to the boss man for two separate reasons: a P3 and just to talk about the state of this league, the state of the season. Jason Benson in fourth, Sean Bradley in fifth. Your champion, Steve McClendon, in sixth place. Ty Bass, P7. William Emert, P8. Matt Harmon, P9. Michael Hopkins finds 10th place. Mark Herzog, P11. Dylan Freeman, Ben Harcum, Elton Woo in 14th. Dylan Ruelas, 15th. Tex Nichols of Nichols Oil Pros in P16. Be sure to reach out to Tex if you're looking for any AMSOIL products. Mark Durrell, P17. Keaton Crothers in 18th, did not finish. Michael Seymour in P19. Matthew Epting, P number 20. Derek Catt, Paul Crumry, the 22 cars that took on this run today. And I think first things first, and it's not that I'm the realist, I think we have to talk to Steve McClendon. Is that right? How do you want to talk to Steve McClendon, or you want to talk to the Corgi first? Who do you want to pick?
Let's. I'll leave you with Scary Dog, so I can handle what should be our champion. They're in a separate lounge, all three race control. So I hope I'm not just about to break something in two by doing this. Steve McClendon, unless you have some horrible news for us, we're expecting to you to call yourself here as the champion.
Yeah, we gotta import everything real quick, but I think we got it done.
I've done
there.
calculations. It should be plus 10 or something close enough to it that, like, as long as you didn't, after that first stage, as long as you didn't retire, it was going to look very, very good for you. The way it stands, I'm willing to call it on the back of that. How was the race for you? You didn't come out with the win, but you had plenty of good battles up and down.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. Tonight wasn't about trying to win. It was just trying to survive, stay with Sean. I knew I had that 7-point buffer, so just stay with him. Don't get too far from him, and really, just like I said, tonight was just all about scoring points and scoring more points than him.
How is the Darlington experience? This is the track that earlier in the stream I referenced. I can't actually get around this place, but there was a lot of pace and a lot of impressive driving on display. Some big surprises in strategy. You're second out of the drivers that made that pit stop.
Yeah, I mean, I put in a lot of work this week, so I figured that was really the only strategy was to pit. I knew I couldn't make it, so I was going to have to pit. So that's what I did, and I guess those guys, they must have pitted on that last caution when the rest of us stayed out, and they made it work.
Well, we got a few more drives to speak through than usual. So any other thanks or shout outs before we let you get back to your race control and really maybe work out if something crazy has happened? I'm sure Al will tell us.
Yeah. Just all the friends and family watching. I really appreciate them. Every Sunday they get a text, and then it's fun to go back and watch it with them. And my wife, she puts up with a lot of stuff every week, so thank you to her. And then just all the buddies that I have racing with us, all the guys on the TBR team. It's a collective effort for sure. And then my buddy Nathan, Skydomount Solutions, his name's on the race car, and he keeps the internet going and the beers flowing.
Well, back to back, maybe you'll do it again. Steve McClendon, current, my perspective, points champion as it stands, and I'll take the fall if something horrible is announced in the next 20 minutes. Do enjoy it.
All right, man. 10-4, appreciate it. I'm loading it in now, so if you check back in with me in a minute, I'll let you know for sure.
I'm sure I will certainly let me know the moment I make a mistake.
Yeah, 10-4.
All right.
So that's one. I'll leave you with a corgi.
Oh, God, the Corgi. All right, let's find the Corgi here, where the Corgi's at. All right, so here is the Corgi. Woof, 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 woof. So, Hyatt, I got to ask, how in the world did you work out the strategy?
Well, I don't even understand that either. I just kind of looked at the gas gauge or the laps remaining, and then I looked at how many we were getting on a fuel run, and it said 61, and I was like, okay. And then finally we got that yellow, and I saw that there was only 63 to go. So I was like, well, if I pit with 1 to green, then we should be good to go to the end. And so it just lucked out, I guess.
It was really fun to watch, man. Obviously, watching through, we saw the early spin, and then, you know, when you have an early spin like that, it's really hard to come back. I gotta ask, dude, was it just patience and just letting it go? What was the thought process for you there?
Mainly just trying to stay within 1 lap down and get it back around the stage break, which is luckily what happened. But yeah, that was all I could think about once that happened, was just stay around a lap and just see how the car feels until the stage, and don't use any tires until then, and then go from there.
Man, it was wild to watch going through. Do you feel like, you know, you were going to have any pressure there from Williams? I know he hit the wall going through, and I thought you both were going to wreck there. Kind of talk me through that last lap.
Oh, so I figured with like 10 to go, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, okay, I'm holding these guys up and I'm burning off my right front. So if that's the case, these guys might be able to catch them. Maybe something happens, I don't know. And then maybe I can somehow just floor it. And somehow that's actually what happened.
Well, man, it was a lot of fun to watch. Congratulations on the win. It's your second win of the season, if I'm not mistaken. So congratulations, great run. And yeah, amazing to see the Corgi up, not once, but twice, especially when the second time you basically did a reverse last to first challenge.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Bristol did that too, didn't I?
You absolutely did, man. Well, it shows the Corgi has a lot of talent, man. Congratulations, and hopefully we'll see you soon. I know I'll talk to you soon. For those who don't know, me and the Corgi talk a lot behind the scenes. A lot of borks are given behind the scenes.
Yeah, man. We need to go play some golf soon, dude.
We really do. We'll get that set up, man. But we got plenty of interviews to get through tonight. So congratulations, Ryan. And I'll catch up with you later, man. We'll get some golf set up.
All right. See you, man. Thank y'all for broadcasting this year.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Take it easy, and we'll catch up with you later.
All right. See you, man.
See, the Corgi's not that scary. He could be much worse.
You're one of them? Oh my god.
I didn't know this was a secret. Anyways, Howie,
by the way, I've looked at imported results, and thankfully there's not egg on my face, as Stephen McLendon is well clear by 10. But we've got more people to talk to. Daniel Williams in P2, another driver that I didn't really think about near the start of this race. It's a busy grid, and then all of a sudden you've played a strategy masterclass. Oh, here's Daniel. Come on. Hey, Daniel.
Sorry, you got me.
You can stay right here. It's all good. Driver didn't really think too much of in the beginning of the race. You're just in the middle of the pack, and then you come out with the strategy move, much like the others around you, and you're up here in P2.
Yeah, it was saw an opportunity. You know, had to do something to separate from everybody, and you know, was worried about Al there, and knew I had to get by him, and was watching my mirror the whole time, making sure Ryan didn't get by me until there at the end.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the final turn, but you know, you did give up the place. You didn't affect the results. It was nice of you to handle that well. But was that a scary moment to finish a white flag lap?
It was certainly interesting. I was trying to not interrupt the points race, and so I was trying to give some room. And when I did, I misjudged. I think when Sean got by me, and it put me in the wall. And so when I went into turn one, when Ryan was getting around me, the car just didn't turn and just right up into him. So I felt really bad for him. And, you know, you never want to take somebody out.
Well, a tough track. You've had some decent finishes this season. Do you think if you're stuck to a full season next time, you might be able to make a playoff shot with the attendance?
I think so. I think, you know, just dedicating the time. I got into the season a little bit late, so I missed, I think, the first 3 races. And, you know, I had a great time. You know, it was a lot of fun, hard racing with everybody, too. You know, just trying to get a feel for the cars and get used to everybody and how to race everybody, you know, the way that they want to be raced. So I'm starting to get there. You know, I think it paid off tonight.
And a good finish for you. But any other thank yous or shout outs before we move on?
I just want to thank everybody in the league. I want to thank you guys for the broadcast. This has definitely been a lot of fun, and joining into a league like this, you never know what you're going to get into when you're new, and everyone's just welcomed me with open arms. It's been an awesome experience.
I've had a great time with the community the whole way through. Enjoy the race results. Hope to see you again on the track soon.
Thanks, guys.
That's Daniel Williams, and I assume that Al is probably going to spend the longest time thanking the most people, although he has the most right to as a league admin. I'll leave that to you, Brad.
Absolutely here. Al, Corey, the boss man himself, gets a P3. Let's start talking about the race first here, and then we'll kind of shuffle it back through, and we'll talk a little bit more about the league as a whole. Talk me through that race there, because strategy played out a lot more than I thought it would, and it seemed like the fuel run definitely went your way.
Yeah, it was a very surprising race, to be honest with you. I stayed out with Ben Harcum when everybody else pit, and it seemed like the absolute worst idea ever, because I dropped 11 or 12 spots after a couple of laps on that restart. Then we got a caution, and because everybody had just pit for tires, I came in and I got tires, but I got fuel. And at that point, I started looking at my fuel and realized that if I started saving immediately, I'd make it. So I started saving at that point, and I actually had 2 laps to the good when we finished. Unfortunately, I took wheel damage with 7 or 8 laps to go, and that kind of took me out of any running for trying to catch anybody. But anyway, yeah, it was a very weird race that Darlington came down to a fuel strategy.
Well, man, it was a lot of fun to watch going through, and I got to ask the big $1 million question for you. Anything that you would have done different there to try to get above that P3 you were in?
I think I underestimated Ryan and Daniel, because I didn't think they'd be able to make it. And so I pulled over. And of course, if I had known that they were going to make it, I wouldn't have pulled over for them. I would have battled them. But yeah, I think I should have, in hindsight, I should have battled them for the spots, because they had enough fuel. So that's just the way cookie crumbles.
And, kind of thinking about, your season as a whole, obviously you were in playoff contention this season. You're the big boss man. I know that has nothing to do with it. We've got Steve McClendon back to back. Are you looking to prevent his three-peat next season?
No chance. First of all, congratulations to Steve. A fantastic season and well deserved. He just week in and week out, he's just so consistent and right at the top. I'm just happy to be here, and I won't be. I'm not going to be pushing anybody for a championship. I was pretty happy to get into the playoffs at all, and the big news is that I think that's my first top 3 all season, if I'm not mistaken. So very happy with the way the season ended.
Man, it was super awesome to kind of watch through, and we'll pivot from the race here to the season as a whole. It's been a great season here for Triple Bypass through season 8. I got to ask, looking forward to season 9. Obviously, we have, kind of popped the cork on the bottle and officially announced we'll be back here on PTR TV for season 9 starting next week. What can people look forward to next season? What are the big changes in the Cup Series?
Yeah, a few tweaks. We're going to introduce Leader's Choice for lane choice next season, and that's going to be a nice little wrinkle. And we're also moving down to 50% fuel from our 80% fuel loads this season, and that'll set up some more pit stops, hopefully more green pit stops. And we're also going to be tweaking those stage break numbers just to accommodate the different fuel setting. So a few tweaks, I would say. The Leader's Choice on the lane is something that we wanted to do for a few seasons, but we never pulled the trigger on, so we finally decided to do it next season.
Awesome, man. I think that's going to be super exciting to watch through. And of course, you are the head admin here of the league. Anyone you want to thank, shout out. The floor is yours. Feel free to thank or not thank to your discretion.
Well, thanks. First of all, I want to give a shout out to John Crutchley, the Nodge. Hopefully he's watching tonight. Nodge has been under the weather and is recovering. He's been away from the league for a few weeks, and we're looking forward to having him back soon. So I want to give a special shout out to Nodge if he sees this broadcast tonight. Next, I want to thank our admins this season, Jason Benson and Naj, as well as Steve McClendon, all pitched in for the Cup Series admin team this season, and they did just a terrific job. And then I want to thank the entire admin team. We had a few additions this season, and those guys really stepped up. So thank you to all of you. And finally, I just want to say thanks to the drivers. We had a really successful season across 5 series, and I hazard to say that we're having more fun than ever, and that's what we're here for. So thanks to all the guys that race with Triple Bypass. And I want to thank you guys. You did a fantastic job with us this season, and I can't wait for next.
Awesome, man. And Al, a big thank you to bringing us on here for this season. It's been a great season. I know on behalf of Corey Silva, who is off on vacation wherever, having his fun. Me and him are both looking forward to coming back for next season, man. We're going to let you go enjoy it with the guys here at the end of season 8, and we'll see you back in a week for season 9.
Great. One last thing. Hi, Howie.
Woo!
See you guys later. Have a great night.
See ya, Al. Well, Howie, it's been one heck of a Sunday night. It's been a great season, I have to say, but the season has to come to an end. We'll reset things, re-rack them, restack them, come back in 7 days, and we'll send it on for the next one here next week.
No break means the fun never really gets to stop. You'll be seeing a little bit more of me on the track in the coming season, as I have a couple of races to my name that I have to mark my stamp on. But it's always a joy to watch, always a joy to race, always a joy to work on these broadcasts for. It's one of those I always look forward to.
On behalf of everyone here at PTR TV, Patrick, Howie, Corey, myself, Andre, everyone who's taken part in making this possible, I want to extend a great thanks here to the league. They've been great ever since I joined as a driver ages and ages ago, and then getting to kind of come full circle and broadcast them here on the channel. It's been great to watch and see how this goes. Corey, of course, doing all the production for a majority of the season, Howie filling in when both me and Corey were unavailable on the most rare of instances that could happen. I'm excited to see what season 9 brings, but season 8 has to close out. I'm so thankful we only have to wait a week, though. So we're going to send this one off into the sunset tonight on behalf of everyone here at PTR TV and everyone that makes Triple Bypass Racing happen. My name is Brad. We've taken you start to finish here tonight. Join us next week for season 9, where we'll take you start to finish yet again. Good night.